भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 4, text number 15 to 18. Sa Kadachit Sarasvatya Sa Kadachit Sarasvatya Upasprushya Jalam Suchihi Upasprushya Jalam Suchihi Vivikta Eka Asina Vivikta Eka Asina Udite Ravi Mandale Udite Ravi Mandale Sa Kadachit Sarasvatya Upasprushya Jalam Suchihi Vivikta Eka Asina Udite Ravi Mandale Sa Kadachit Sarasvatya Upasprushya Jalam Suchihi Vivikta Eka Asina Udite Ravi Mandale Sakadachit Sarasvatya Jalam Suchihi Upasprushya Jalam Suchihi Vivikta Eka Asina Udite Ravi Mandale Upasprushya. After finishing morning ablutions, Jalam, water, Suchihi, being purified, Vivikte, concentration, Ekaha, alone, Asinaha, being the seated, Udite, on the rise, Ravi Mandale, of the sun disk. Translation and purport by Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada. Once upon a time, he, Vyasadeva, as the sun rose, took his morning oblation in the waters of the Saraswati and sat alone to concentrate. Please repeat the translation. Once upon a time, he, Vyasadeva, as the sun rose, took his morning oblation in the waters of the Saraswati and sat alone to concentrate. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The river Saraswati is flowing in the Badrikashrama area of the Himalayas. So the place indicated here is Samya Prasada in Badrikashrama, where Srila Vyasadeva is residing. Next verse I will recite myself. Paravarajnasa Rishihi Kalena Avyaktaram Hasa Yugadharma Vitikaram Praptam Bhuvi Yuge. The great sage Vyasadeva saw anomalies in the duties of the millennium. This happens on the earth in different ages due to unseen forces in the course of time. Purport. The great sage like Vyasadeva are liberated souls and therefore they can see clearly past, present and future. Thus, he could see the future anomalies in the Kaliyuga, Kali age, and accordingly he made arrangement for the people in general so that they can execute a progressive life in this age, which is full of darkness. The people in general in this age of Kali are too much interested in matter, which is temporary. And because of ignorance, they are unable to evaluate the essence of life and be enlightened in spiritual knowledge. Next verse. Bhautikānām ca bhāvānām shakti harāsham ca kritam ashraddadānām nissattvān durmedān shashitāyushā durbhāgām sha janān viksha munir divyena chakshusha sarva varnāshramanām yad tadvyohitam amogatra. The great sage who was fully equipped in knowledge could see through his transcendental vision the deterioration of everything material due to the influence of the age. He could also see that the faithless people in general would be reduced in duration of life. Goodness. Thus, he contemplated for the welfare of men in all statuses Purport. The unmanifested force of time are so powerful that they reduce all matter to oblivion in due course. In Kaliyuga, the last millennium of a round of 4 millenniums, the power of all material objects deteriorates by the influence of time. In this age, the duration of material body of the people in general is much reduced, and so is the memory. The action of matter has also not so much incentive. The land does not produce food grains in the same proportion as it did in other ages. The cow does not give as much milk as it used to give formerly. The production of vegetables and fruits is less than before. As such, all living beings, both men and animals, do not have sumptuous, nourishing food. Due to want of so many necessities of life, naturally the duration of life is reduced. The memory is short, intelligence is meager, mutual dealings are full of hypocrisy, and so on. The great sage Vyasadeva could see this by his transcendental vision. As an astrologer can see the future fate of a man, or an astronomer can foretell the solar and lunar eclipses, those liberated souls who can see through the scriptures can foretell the future of all mankind. They can see this due to their sharp vision of spiritual attainment. And all such transcendentalists who are naturally devotees of the Lord are always eager to render welfare service to the people in general. They are the real friends of the people in general, not the so-called public leaders who are unable to see what is going to happen 5 minutes ahead. In this age, the people in general as well as their so-called leaders are all unlucky fellows, faithless in spiritual knowledge and influenced by the age of Kali. They are always disturbed by various diseases. For example, in the present age, there are so many TB patients and TB hospitals, but formerly this was not so because the time was not so unfavorable. The unfortunate men of this age are always reluctant to give a reception to the transcendentalists who are representatives of Srila Vyasadeva, and selfless workers always busy in planning something which may help everyone in all statuses and orders of life. The greatest philanthropists are those transcendentalists who represent the mission of Vyasa, Narada, Madhva, Chaitanya, Rupa, Saraswati. They are all one and the same. The personalities may be different, but the aim of the mission is one and the same, namely to deliver the fallen souls back home, back to Godhead. Presents the Bhakti Vedanta purport. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Chalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaurabhaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So continuing with the vision of Vyasadeva, because he was inquired by the sages of Naimisharanya had inquired from Suta Goswami how about Vyasadeva, what was his situation, what and all transpired for creation of this Bhagavatam. The concept of evolution of Bhagavatam is explained here. Sa kadachit Saraswatya, once upon a time, on the bank of river Saraswati, Upasprishya Jalam Suchihi, Vyasadeva sat down and Upasprishya, by touching water, Jalam Suchihi, he became purified and he offered his morning oblations, Tarpana, and all these things and all morning things. Vivikta Eka Asinaha, in a secluded place, he started upon to concentrate his mind, Asinaha. Udite Ravi Mandale. What was the time at that time? It was just about sunrise. So morning around 5:30 to 6:30, somewhere around just sunrise, he purified himself and he sat down to meditate upon the Lord. So this ashrama is known as Samya Prasha, where near Badrika Ashrama, where Vyasadeva's hermitage, it is called as, and it is said as ashrama. The word specifically ashrama means where spiritual life is given first priority for advancement. It is not a house. It is a spiritual practicing place, spirituality practicing place. Then Paravarajnaha sa Rishihi means one who is able to see the past, present and future. Trikalajnaha is also known as Paravarajnaha. Kalena Avyakta Ramhasa, he could see by the impact of time, there was a great force, Ramhasa. There is a great force, that unseen force because of time. Yuga Dharma Vyatikaram. In terms of the millennium, as Kaliyuga started, he could see there were differences in situations. There were anomalies, unwanted things. Praptam Bhuvi Yuge Yuge, which occurred on the earth in different ages. See, every yuga has its own symptoms. So, in Kaliyuga, he could specifically see the symptoms of Kaliyuga, because it is Kaliyuga. The great sage Vyasadeva saw anomalies in the duties of the millennium. This happens on earth in different ages due to unseen forces in the course of time. The time will impact upon people in various ways, and these are all unseen forces. You cannot calculate, you cannot be prepared. Whether tomorrow suddenly some rain may come, flood may come, earthquake may come, you cannot predict all these things and all. Or you may predict maybe 1 day, 2 days before. You cannot predict the impact how which will create. Many times we see tomorrow there will be rain, the forecast department, it will not rain that day. And whenever they say there is no rain, that day it will rain heavily. And this is our practical experience. So the impact, what it can create, we don't know. Because it is the unforeseen time. The force is unexpected because of impact of the age, situation, and our own karma as a group. As an individual, everyone has its own karma, but as a group, there is a collective karma. We do such things that in a way it could impact the entire population. So further, what did he actually see? That anomalies are explained here. Bhautikanam cha bhavanam. Bhautikanam is those everything made of matter, and bhavanam and their actions. Shakti hrasham cha tatkritam. So everything has a deterioration of their natural Shakti hrasham. The power started deteriorating. Tatkritam, rendered by that, because of that less power. Ashraddhadananam, those who are faithless. Nissattvanam, those who are impatient due to want of mode of goodness. Durmedan, those who are dull-minded, not intelligent. Rashitayushaha, those whose duration of life has been reduced. Durbhagamscha janan viksha, he is able to see the unfortunate people, Durbhagan, who are unlucky. Munir divyena chakshusha, by his transcendental vision, divya chakshusha, he was able to see everything about the people in general. Sarva varnashramananam yad, for all statuses and orders of life in everybody in varnashram system. Tadyo hitam amogadruk, because he is fully equipped with knowledge, he wanted to provide a solution for these unwanted things. So he saw the problem and he is trying to find out a solution for that problem. For whom? For all classes of people in Varna and Ashrama. So in the purport, Prabhupada explains about various aspects. It's a big purport. So the whole aspect is communicated on that unmanifested force of time. So how it will impact? There will be duration of life reduced for people. People will become short span and their memory is reduced. They are less intelligent. Why? Because there is poor crop production and poor cow's milk productions. Lack of food, lack of cow milk. See, cow milk will increase our brain capacity, intelligence capacity, and proper food will increase our ayuhu. So because our food is contaminated with so many pesticides and we get more diseases and we die faster, ayuhu is gone. Then intelligence, because the cows are not taken care of, the milk what we drink is contaminated, polluted, so our intelligence also has come down. The reasons for it. Then mutual dealings of full of hypocrisy. Everybody starts fighting with each other. There is no proper straightforward relationship. So always it is a quarrelsome atmosphere. Then it is said about that great liberated souls, they can see through past, present and future because of their sharp spiritual attainment. They are known as, that's why Trikalajnaha are known as Paravarajnaha. They are elevated people, they could understand all the situations by their knowledge and understanding, and they desire welfare by contemplating for the welfare of all, because devotees of Lord are the general philanthropists and real friends of society. They can't see others suffering. Paradukka dukki, the devotees are. If somebody is happy, the devotees feel unhappy. They would like to do a permanent solution. If somebody is hungry, you give him one time food. But how do you make him other times also see that he doesn't feel hungry? This is one thing in basic material consideration. See, everybody is also starving from spiritual knowledge. So how to give him that satisfaction so that he doesn't come into the cycle of birth and death again? That is the ultimate solution. So that is what devotees aspire for. Because they represent one and only the mission of great acharyas to deliver fallen souls back to Godhead. This is what devotees want. They want to represent the mission of the acharyas and take this further so that everybody can get benefited and go back home, back to God. So in Bhagavatam 12th canto, there is an elaborate description of symptoms of Kaliyuga. So I will just give some basic aspects, because it is 2 chapters, almost like some 80 verses are there explaining about the nature of Kaliyuga. So major predictions what are done for Kaliyuga, it says, Tatasya anudinam dharmaha. So every day as the Kaliyuga starts, anudinam, dharmaha, religion, satyam, truthfulness, saucham, cleanliness, kshama, forgiveness, daya, mercy, tolerance, kalena balina rajan. Oh my dear king, because of the force of Kala, the force, Nankshati Ayur Balam, one reduces in Ayuhu, duration of life, Balam, physical capacity, Spritihi, intelligence. Further, Vittam Eva Kalon Runam, people will consider money is a sign of one's good birth. In Kaliyuga, wealth is considered, if you are a very rich person, you are considered of a very good character. Money determines everything about a person. Janma achara gunodayaha. On what categories? On his birth, achara, all his activities, behavior and fine qualities as based on evolution of money. If I have more money, I may be a worst person, but I will be given full respect. Dharma Nyaya Vyavasthanam. In Dharma Nyaya, in court and in police stations, Vyavasthanam, you will not get justice if you don't have money. Karanam Balamevahi. This is only one basis of one's power. If you have more power, if you are politically or if you are powerful, you can manipulate everything in court and in police station. So I am not saying, this is what Bhagavatam is saying. The future we already see, we know. We have seen this in many movies. And we see in reality also. Dampatye abhiruchi hetuhu. Dampatye means the attraction between men and women is based on superficial attraction. Mayeva vyavaharike. And success in business will depend upon Maya, deceit. If you cheat nicely, your success will progress very nicely. Stritve pumsitve hi ratihi. The manliness or womanliness is judged based upon their capacity of sexual performance. Vipratve shutramevahi. A person is considered a Brahmana if he is having just a thread. Lingam evashrama kyato. A person according to one spiritual order is ascertained merely according to external symbols. If he is decorated nice mala and put everything and all, he will be considered, oh, great sadhu. Based upon the dress, one is ascertained whether he is a sadhu or a bhikari. Anyonya apatti karanam. People will fight. People can easily change from one ashrama to another ashrama. Avrutya naya durbalyam. If you don't have money, you will not get justice. Panditya chapalam vachaha. One who is able to confuse people is the greatest scholar.
Anadyata eva asadutve. A person is judged unholy if he doesn't have money. And sadutve damba evahi. And hypocrisy will be accepted as virtue. Hypocrisy means to criticize others. Is a good quality. We know now any issue happens in the news channels, there will be debates. So one who is able to talk without sense, he is considered the most intelligent man. So this is what the current reality. He is considered as a great orator. Then, svikare eva chudvahe. Marriage will be verbal agreement. So, snanam eva prasadanam. One can, people think if I have just taken bath, I can go outside. I am presentable in the outside world. Mere taking bath, one thinks it is as cleanliness. Dure vari ayanam tirdam. People think the water in a far place is a sacred place. Lavanyam keshadaranam. If the hairstyle is better, people think they are beautiful. Udaram bharata swa arthaha. People think the goal of life is to fill my belly. Satyatve drashtam evahi. So one who is audacious will be accepted as truthful. You have to look in dictionary. What is this audacious means? Means one who is commanding. Even though it is wrong, if you speak very strongly, people accept it as truth. Then, daksham kutumba varanam. One is considered very expert if he can maintain a wife and 2 children. He is considered as very expert man. Daksham. Daksha. Yasho arde dharma sevanam. The principles of religion will be observed only for the sake of reputation. Yashaha. Only just for the name of, only for the namesake. Principles of religion will be observed. Evam prajabir dushtabir. So people will become corrupt, dushtabihi. Akirne kshiti mandale. And it will be populated, the entire crowd, the earth will be with corrupt population. Brahmavid kshara shudranam. And whoever will become very powerful, strongest man, will take to the political leadership. Yo Bali Bhavita Nrapaha. He becomes the king. Balihi, the strongest man, will become the king. Prajahi Lubde Rajanyar. People will be snatched away from people, all their properties and their family, lives, wives, everything will be snatched away by Nigraner Dasyu Dharmabihi. Thieves in the form of kings, politicians. Achinna Dara Dravina. Because of looting their wives and properties, Dara Dravina. Yashyanti Giri Kananam. People go to forests, Giri Kananam and hills to maintain themselves. Jai Shri Radha Govinda. Shaka Moola Amisha Kshaudra Phala Pushpati Bhojanaha. What they eat in that forest? Shaka, leaves, Moola, roots, Amisha, meat, Kshaudra, wild honey, Phala, fruits, Pushpa, flowers, Asti, seeds. This is what they eat in the forest. Anavrushta Vinakshanti. And there will be Anavrushti, struck by drought. Durbhiksha Karapiditaha. And there will be with famine and excessive taxation. Sita Vata Atapa Pravrud Himer Anyonyata Prajaha. And there will be Sita, excessive cold, Vata, heavy wind, Atapa, heavy heat, Pravrud, heavy rain, Himer, heavy snow, Anyonyata Prajaha. People will be quarreling, they will be suffering because of these extreme climatic situations. Kshutrudbhyam Vyadibhi Shaiva. Hunger, thirst and diseases will be very heavy. Santapshyantaye chintaye. And there will be full of anxiety, severe anxiety, stress. And all these things they will be suffering. Santapayante. Then, Trimshad Vimshati Varshani. It is 30 plus 20. A maximum duration of life is 50 years. Paramayuhu Kalon Runam. This is the Parama Ayuhu. The highest one can live. is 50 years in Kaliyuga. Dasyutkrishta Janapada Veda Pashanda Dushitaha Rajanascha Praja Bhakshaha Shishnodara Paradvijaha. Then Dasyu Akrishta Janapada. Janapada means metropolitan cities will be dominated by thieves. Veda Pashanda Dushitaha. Pashandis will be giving lectures on Vedas. And Rajanascha Praja Bhakshaha. The political influencers will consume the citizens. Praja Bhakshaha will consume the citizens. Shishna Udara Paradvijaha. And intellectuals will be devotees of their bellies and genitals. Shishna Udara Paraha. They are here to maintain their stomach and genital. Avrata Bhatavo Saucha. The brahmacharis, Avrata Sauchaha. They will fail to execute their duties and become generally unclean. Asuchaha. Then Bhikshavascha Kutumbinaha. Grahasthas will become beggars. Tapasvino Gramavasaha. The Vanaprasthas will live in villages. Nyasino Atyartha Lolupa. And sannyasis will become very greed for wealth. Shudraha Pratigrashishyanti. So uncultured people will accept charity on behalf of the Lord. Tapo Vesho Upajivanaha. And will earn their livelihood by making a show of austerity and wearing mendicant's dress. Dharmam Vakshanti Adharmagnya. People who do not know anything about religion will accept a high seat and speak about religion. Adiruhya Uttamam Asanam. So they will sit on the highest position and they will be giving lectures. Adharmagnya. On Dharma they will be giving lectures. Kalo Kakinake Api Arte Vigrahya Tekta Sauhrudaha. In Kaliyuga, people will fight for few coins. Money will be the quarrel. If you have money, people want to snatch it somewhere or other and quarrel starts. Tekta Sauhrudaha. People will give up friendly relationship. And Takshanti cha Priyan Pranan. They are ready to forsake even though in life. To protect money or to gain money, they are ready to kill somebody else. Hanishyanti Swakanapi. They want to kill their relatives also for money purpose. So money rules the world. Na Rakshishyanti Manujaha Staviro Pitaro Api. So people do not protect their elderly parents, Putran, their children, Bharyan, their family members. Cha Kulajam, even though they have taken in a good family, Shudraha Shishnodaram Baraha. They will act like Shudraha, uncultured people, just to maintain their Shishna and Udara, to satisfy their bellies and genitals. This is the situation of people of Kaliyuga. Because they are full of, short span, less intelligent, and dealings will be superficial. They are not straightforward. By all these dealings, simply people are destroying the entire culture. For those who are sane people also, it will become very difficult for them to survive in this age of Kali. So there was one person who was traveling on a main highway, a typical Kaliyuga person. So he saw there was one light flashing upon him. That camera light which will be there, the security camera. He thought, why is this flashing upon me? I am not overdriving. I am in my speed limit. So he thought, let me check, maybe some fault and all. So he again went about, did a roundabout, and again came on the same road in a lesser speed. Earlier he was traveling at 60, now he was traveling at 40. Again the light flashed. He thought this should be some problem. He did a third time at 40 speed. Again the light flashed. 30 speed. Again the light flashed. And in 20 speed, it was almost like walking speed, 20. Again the light flashed. He thought this is something crazy, the machine would have gone fault. So that's why it is doing flashing all the time. So after 15 days, he gets 5 challans. For what? Because he was not wearing the seat belt. So people, they don't think, they always give benefit of doubt for others. Oh, they are at wrong. They are at problem. They don't self-introspect. Okay, something might be there. Maybe I would not have done something. Our natures are always like that. If you see some activity happening, we always give credit to opposite person if it is failure. If it is success, we want to take everything. So this is how the nature of people are. So we should be very careful. Whom do we interact? How do we interact? So there was one person who was following Mayavadi philosophy. He wanted to become self-realized. So he had read that book many times. He could not understand what is the head and tail, what is being communicated there. So he came to Tukaram and he asked him, my dear sir, I know you are a great devotee. I have been reading this book and trying to become self-realized. I could not become. Can you please explain to me what is there in this book? He said, I am not a much person of education. I just know chanting of the holy name and the whole day I will be singing some songs and some things and all. I am not a scholarly person. So then this Brahmana said, okay sir, please do one thing. You sit next to me. I will be reading line by line and you please explain to me. So then he said, okay. So Tukaram also sat and he also sat. So as he started reading, Tukaram pulled one blanket, covered himself with the blanket, and he was inside the blanket, and this person was reading. He was not getting any answer. After some time, he removed the blanket and he saw Tukaram closing his ears and chanting the holy name of the Lord. So then he said, what is this sir? I had asked you to please explain to me, and you are closing your ears and you are chanting the holy name. What is this? He said, the philosophy what you are reading doesn't make head or tail. So I thought it is simply wasting my time. And the only path in this Kaliyuga is the chanting of the holy names. And that will give you the complete realization. So I thought I will be wasting Shramevahi Kevalam, wasting my time sitting next to you. So that's why this is the only path what I know, and this is the only path what I recommend to others. And if you are interested, you chant the holy name and you will experience what is self-realization as Lord reveals unto you by the mercy of your sincerity and blessings of the devotees. See, when he explained this whole Vaishnava path, that person could understand what the word jugglery can never satisfy him. He immediately left that book, became a devotee, accepted initiation from Tukaram, and he could understand what is the purpose of this life in Kaliyuga and how one can achieve the Lord. So after some time, Tukaram went home. He met his wife. That day, wife is worshipping Rukmini Devi because somebody suggested her, you are all in utter poverty. If you worship Lakshmi Devi, Rukmini Devi, and you do a vrata for her, you will get good money. So Tukaram went home and he saw his wife doing some worship. He asked his wife, what are you doing? The wife said, I am worshipping Lakshmi Devi. Somebody had recommended because we are always short of money. So I thought I will worship Lakshmi Devi. He said, no, there is nothing is required. You just worship Vitala, whatever is required for our family, he will give. He said, what is wrong? You are worshipping husband, I am worshipping wife. Husband is worshipping husband, wife is worshipping wife. What is the problem in this process? And this is also a Vaishnava way. I am not decrying anybody else. I am asking the Lord only. But Lord's wife I am asking. Then he tried to preach to her that no, all these things are futile. You don't go running behind money. We know what money can bring, all the unwanted things and all. That wife was not ready. Then she continued her worship. Then Tukaram thought, it is no point in staying at home. For those who are interested in kamya karta, means those who are interested in material desires. So he left home and went away. So wife thought maybe he was angry and he'll come back by evening. By evening he could not come back. Then it was 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. There was no information. Then she started becoming worrying. Then after some days they actually got money. So with that money she brought all her jewels which were mortgaged earlier, and he purchased new clothes and brought all the grains and everything, full stocks she maintained in the house, and everything and all was going. And but Tukaram was no sense. After 1 month over, she could not get any information. She thought maybe he would have gone to Pandharipur and stayed there, because earlier I had the experience, like she was feeling that experience. Suddenly he will vanish to Pandharpur, and after 1 week or 15 days he will come back. But now it is 1 month over. So finally she herself travelled to Pandharpur, which was almost 300 kilometers. When they went there, she could not find Tukaram anywhere. She met many devotees there and asked them. They said last 1 month they have not seen Tukaram. So she was even more tensed. Then she went to Lord Vittala. She prayed to Lord Vittala. So please give me information where my husband is. I am very anxious for him. Now I understood that life is not all these things and all. Please forgive me. Like that she started praying in a humble way. So that night when she slept, Lord appeared in her dream and explained to him that Tukaram is in Dehu itself, in their own village. He is on the top of a hill, and for the last 30 days he has not eaten anything the day he left the home, and whole day he has been chanting and singing the holy name of the Lord. He is abang. Then immediately she got up next day morning, then immediately reached to the place, climbed the hill and saw her husband still in that, even though he was weak, full of beard and not in a way a clean personality externally, but his voice has not lost his strength. He was more spiritually glowing because of the austerity and tapasya. And when after he finished his song, the abang, she went and fell at his feet and begged forgiveness and said, please come home. Please, without you, how will I take care of the family? He said, what is me required? If you have money, you can take care of the family. You are thinking, you worship Lakshmi Devi, you will get money, you will manage the family. Why I am required? I am not required. You go and take care. Go worship your Lakshmi Devi and maintain yourself. Then she said, no, please forgive me. Money is not the main thing. Your mercy is what is main thing. You have to be there with us. Then if you want me to come home, please do one thing. Immediately go home and distribute all the wealth in charity. Then with a simple mind, always for every day depend upon the Lord. So with that pure mind, if you are interested, then I will come home. So then immediately she went home, distributed the wealth in charity, and with like every day to depend upon the Lord for their necessities. Whatever Lord sanctions, be satisfied. Yadrasta labha santushtaha. So she practiced that principle, then she committed, then Tukaram came home. See, the whole thing is, the money is not the basis for us. People think if they have money, they think they have everything in the world. But Kaliyuga, the principle is devotional service. Kaler dosha nide rajan astineko mahan gunaha. As the chapter ends, because so Parikshit Maharaj must be feeling very bad about the symptoms of Kaliyuga. So Sutta Goswami explains, Sukadeva Goswami explains to him that Kaler dosha nide rajan. In Kaliyuga, it is dosha nidhi. It is an ocean of faults. Astin eko mahan gunaha. There is one good quality. Kirtanadi eva Krishnasya. By chanting the holy name of the Lord, Mukta Sangha Param Vrajat. People can become free from this contamination of these gunas, and they can go back home, back to God. This is a simple principle, but to practice, you require guidance. That guidance comes from pure devotees like Prabhupada. So under his guidance, under his direction, if one practices, one will be easily be able to go back home, back to God. So I'll stop here. Any questions or doubts? कि ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंद.
హరే కృష్ణ గోల్డెన్ టెంపుల్ వారి మరో అపురూప కానుక హరే కృష్ణవాణి ఆధ్యాత్మిక మాసపత్రిక. ఇప్పుడు మొబైల్ యాప్ ద్వారా కూడా సులభంగా పత్రికలు చదువుకునే సౌకర్యం, వార్షిక సభ్యత్వం, భగవద్గీత, భాగవత ప్రవచనాలు, స్ఫూర్తి సందేశాలు, ఇంకా మరెన్నో సదుపాయాలతో హరే కృష్ణవాణి మొబైల్ యాప్ నేడే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. మరిన్ని వివరాల కోసం కాల్ చేయండి 913310